the abduction phenomenon in humanology is the hybridization program. And what has largely been ignored and misunderstood by morphology is that number one, this is the same intelligence. Number two, if we include older case studies into this new phenomenon, then we would have more insight into what they're doing. So the case studies within demonology implies that,
in other words, what happened is they seeded, like when you look at biblical antiquity, when you look at all around the world with every single religion, you see that this demonic or alien entity race seeded themselves many, many generations ago, perhaps thousands of years ago, and regularly thereon with the human beings, sort of like creating this golem or homunculus, or however you want to refer to it. And then, in order to stay in this dimension, they have to modify themselves and update the eras. So they're authenticating themselves. And they're also breeding narcissistic, malignant narcissistic, borderline histrionic offspring in order to control the domain so that they can travel interdimensionally, right? So, in other words, it's kind of like these aliens, these greys are like drones, and they can travel in and out, dimensionally speaking, and the entities can go inside the bodies of these drones, and there's virtually no, and that's how they refer to us. Like, that's Robert Bigelow refers to, he says that we're referred to as containers. So I digress. Let's get this going. Sorry.
what we're dealing with is the insemination of the woman with the fetus. Not only that, but placing their own consciousness in the fetus itself as a way of self-replicating their species. At first blush, what we had was the incubi encounters, where the succubus would go and harvest the seed from a woman, and then appear to a woman in the image of a lover, a boyfriend, a husband, and then inseminate her with the fetus. That was the hardware part of the hybridization program. That was, okay, the missing fetus syndrome, right? However, in the 16th century, in a province called Softi, it was in Israel, we started having cases where women were being induced into dreamlike states, encountering entities that took on the appearance of a lover or a husband or a boyfriend, and they would...
And how they've influenced us with neurolinguistic programming.
But they would believe that's just a dream, or they would actually believe it is somebody they've been intimate with. But then the next day, they would be possessed by consciousness that was not theirs. And so, this is fascinating to me. Then when they would present themselves to the physicians would ask them, okay, have you met an entity in your dreams? This happened also in Baghdad, where, you believed it was your husband or a lover. Yes, okay.
So how many stories are there where an angel comes to someone and says, you're a great man, and we're going to bestow upon you power for your greatness? And it's kind of like, what if there was no God? And what if those who proclaim themselves God were truly evil and out for themselves and weren't altruistic toward humanity whatsoever? What then? That's kind of how you have to start looking at this whole thing, but I digress.
And then they would go through these methodologies.
By the way, this is Ted Rice.
During this time in history, the pathology of this intelligence evolved to where it wasn't just consciousness that was in the woman, but they would also inseminate her with the fetus to the point where the physicians would document the women were pregnant.
Co-writers together.
And then they would perform the lavouche method, where it was pressing the thumb and on the wrist. They would feel two heartbeats in one body, two pulses in one body. What's unique about these case studies as opposed to the others that preceded them, is that simultaneously,
Right
with
now we're
the
going down
phenomenon
to In-N-Out
of
Burger
consciousness inside
or
the
some
woman,
Flying
they would
Dutchman,
also remove the fetus
and
at
then
the
we're going
same
to go
time,
charge up.
leading
Had a
them
day off
to
today. We just
believe,
did a
the
few
observers and
rides
researchers,
today.
technologists, to believe that these women were not just pregnant by the entity they met, but they were pregnant with it. And so that the entity had been trying to self-replicate through her. Now, this intersectionality, again, would be called occult transference.
So this gets into very unique signatures that you could almost say that our junk DNA is used against us as a mimetic sequence to almost create a cymatic signature so that within our very DNA, there's a honing mechanism that can actually cymatically bring a consciousness within. It's like an antenna or a Bluetooth, you know.
Where the practitioner, when they're waning, when they're dying, they would go and they would inseminate a woman, put her in a deep dream state, create a fetus in her, and then commandeer that fetus as a new biological avatar. So it's just another, but that's essentially what I'm saying when it seems to be rather the self-replication species.
So they're false,
So
unique, authentic.
yeah, go ahead, Ted, go ahead.
But they have to correlate with the field
I'll come back to that.
of
Okay.
probability.
So Nathaniel,
They are our
they're
enemies.
getting these women pregnant, okay, with a fetus. They're coming back, usually in the
And we
third
sold their
trimester,
purity.
removing the fetus, and then they are inhabiting it.
Yes, we have that. We have that over even Betty Luca. Betty Luca was abducted, and she asked them, "Where are you getting these grays from?" And they told her, "These are the fetuses." So this over and over again, the self-replication
The grays
species.
are
But what we're witnessing now is because of the diversification here, ufology says, okay, that's something completely different. And I'm coming up to the table and saying how and why.
Yeah. Yeah, so the greys are actually unborn fetuses, essentially, mixed in with AI.
That, yeah, so yeah, not just AI, but consciousness.
The being's consciousness, whatever
The
they are.
being's consciousness. And so check this out. One of the very first case studies we have in that is
You're
taken from the
essentially
Apocrypha
talking
of
about
John,
beings
the
that
manuscript,
can
written and preserved by
transgress
Egyptian
and
monks.
transcend consciousness.
They talked
itself.
about a specific sexual pathology of the phenomenon, where
And
this
it may
is
even
what
get
it
into
says,
a
that
hive
they
mind
appear to women in the images
pure
of their
energy.
husbands. And at the moment of conception and insemination, they stared into the eyes of the experiencer and then pulled the mask off. Now, the idea was, this is what's called an obstetric tradition. The idea was that whatever image the woman is staring at the moment of insemination, she
Conceptualization.
will be impregnated with the material body of that image.
Yeah. And that's something
Very strange.
Yeah, but
That's why it's often said over and over again that we aren't aware of how powerful we are. In other words, our consciousness is something that should be utilized full time. And that's why we have this aspersion toward meditation and toward prayer, because it puts us in a state of mind where we are focused 100% on a belief system of something that we really believe in, you know? God, man, this bitch. Sorry. These people just block. And I expect it. I expect the rudeness. I'm ready. I'm ready. So we're gonna go over here and get some Flying Dutchman. Get fed up. Go and get fed. All right. Get about 3 Flying Dutchmen for today.
that is what we are hearing in production scenario is what David Jacobs calls eye scans. It's where they get real close to the abductee's face and just stares at them.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'd like to order 3 Flying Dutchmen, please.
Do you want that to be wrapped in onions?
No, thank you for asking. And I think that's it, actually.
Okay. Will be for the card?
Yeah.
Awesome. So just 3 Flying Dutchmans, but like no onions, just meat, cheese. Meat.
Yeah, I always forget that those are served that way, and you're really nice. You're the first person to ask me if I wanted it like that, so that's your traditional way, right?
No, I mean we just added on, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you. That will be 17.13, please.
Okay, thank you. Man, it's expensive. Let's see, is that right? 5, 10, 15. I think so. Yeah, because we got 6 last time and it was 30. It was $32. So there's 2 patties in each Flying Dutchman. So you have 6 patties and cheese. There's 2 slices of cheese on each one. So it sounds really expensive, but you're getting for $5, you're getting 2 patties and 2 slices of cheese. It's a little bit pricey, but it's better than most McDonald's. The McDonald's that I go to up in Antelope charges only $1.76, which is why I go there most of the time. So anyway, I digress.
Wow. Now me and Ted in our group, okay, we've had some serious discussions.
What it
about
costs?
hybrids.
Costs $15 to eat.
Ted doesn't see a use for the hybrids. People think that there's half human, half aliens walking around out there, eventually going to take over.
Not in
the
that
planet.
sense.
Yeah. So
I don't know about that. I know that's it's been hypothesized by David Jacobs, and I've even talked to people from MUFON where you want to talk to a hybrid the other day, and they look just like me.
Like,
Okay,
look,
I get that, I understand that, and they're allowed to believe that. I haven't seen that.
here's the other key factor, is that in biblical Genesis, we were remade, right? So we were remade in God's image, and that God is whoever calls themselves God, whoever is above us, and descends upon these feeble little human beings, or whatever we were. Australopithecus, and obviously not 2,000 years ago, but I think that is how long we've been getting seeded. And so there's specific bloodlines where they revisit, and they keep those bloodlines, and I think that they visit them regularly. And I think like the Mormon traditions, the Rosicrucians, they all have depictions, and their origins are of being visited, being brought holy tablets, and being told what to do. And you have a lot of intermarriage, interbreeding, things like that going on that are part of the moral traditions, and then you have people who are Quakers, and so I mean it's hard to say what's going on, because like the big cover-up is that there could be several different alien races that are visiting. And when I say alien, I'm doing that very liberally. Like Robert Bigelow says, it's right under our nose. Right under our nose. That's where the aliens are. So it's almost like under our nose. Is that under our genetics?
And some of that. Just because someone can play the piano, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, that's great. It doesn't make you a hybrid. But what we're looking at, again, with the self-replication of species is that there was a difference between the apparitional image that first appeared to the experiencer. I had a case study in India where, now, these are genuinely, I should say genuinely, these were originally called incubi cases. And somebody called me out, well, you've had case studies that mirror co-terms. Of course I have, because they're incubi cases. The phenomenon does repetitive methodologies, many times. Anyways, this individual in India told me that she had been with 7 different men in her life.
What's up? What's up? Hello? Oh, let me put it on speaker here. Hey. I'm just getting a Flying Dutchman, 3 Flying Dutchmans.
less than 3.
Yeah. How are you doing? You eating your keto ice cream?
I just I got that Hershey's,
Uh-huh.
and then I put it in the cup with water.
The Hershey syrup?
Yeah, and pecan ice cream and some sugar, but I think I didn't have to put sugar in it.
Yeah, I tried ordering you some heavy cream, but they were out at Walmart. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Strange. So I'll try that again, because you need heavy cream to make like keto hot chocolate, you know? You did it exactly right. You put a little water. You could probably put a little milk. Like look at the carbs that are in the milk. It's just that the galactose will mess with your stomach. You know, the milk sugar.
Yeah.
But you could probably put a little bit of milk in there so it tastes good with the water. Did you already drink it?
So what?
Oh yeah, and then you have the ice cream. That's true. Yeah, you have the ice cream in the water so that the water, did you put warm water where it melted the ice cream a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Now it's coming together. So yeah.
Are you coming? You want to come on over?
Yeah, we could go. I got to charge this beast again.
Watch the movie?
We could go watch a movie. Yeah. Did you look one up?
Yeah.
I'll take a day off. I already trained earlier today, so.
No.
Huh?
I'm gonna look one up. We'll see like 10 minutes.
Yeah, after this is done, should be about 10 minutes. Yeah.
Where's all these?
All right, love you. Talk to you soon. That's my son.
In her life, and that
He's on
one
keto,
entity
obviously.
had manifested as each and every one
He's
of
trying to do kind of carnivore, play around with it.
And there's an overwhelming desire to where the experiencer has to believe in the image they're manifesting as.
Belief.
And I can
Faith
get into
is
that
what
too.
we
I
have.
don't want to ramble.
No, yes, but like surely after like the second or third time this being morphed into someone else, she kind of must have copped onto it, like, but it did it 7 times.
Seven. So what's fascinating though is because it was trying to self-replicate through her, it manifested first
Smells
as
good.
lovers that were
Smells
not
good.
wearing protection, as to increase the probability of conception.
Yeah.
So whatever we're dealing with, again, it tries to create a symbiotic relationship with a lot of the experiencers to where I'm pulling an image from your mind, I'm stepping into it. You let him do that, you're going to let me because I am him. And I had another experience I was working with where she was abducted
has
by
no
beings
true
that were
physical
appearing as her
body.
favorite cartoon characters
So it uses
because she was a kid.
the bodies of the lineage.
And
that
yet,
they've seeded.
there were times when the phenomenon just didn't touch her, left
That
her
makes
alone.
sense.
So she's growing, she's evolving.
That's why you'll see
And
people
then when it
flip.
manifested,
That's why I started to call them force bots,
it was the
witch
same
bots.
cartoon character. The only problem is she wasn't watching those cartoons anymore.
Yeah.
Our
And
free
so
will and
in real
autonomy is the
time, she
only
said suddenly it
power
was
we
like
have,
it was
and most
melting
don't use
down
it.
because the eyes started to move. And the only way she could express herself was it felt like it was measuring my belief in the image.
Yeah.
Strange.
This is when she was older. It was still appearance.
Correct. And now she's taller. It's crazy.
Yeah, and she's noticing that the being is testing her.
Nathaniel Gillis has talked
Next
about
time
the
it comes
same
back,
thing
you're
for the
saying
last
it's probably
2 or
going to
3
be something
years.
else next time.
So it's a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Which again implies that we're not dealing with something that's traversing thousands of light years.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Have a great day. Those guys are making $20 an hour. That's pretty impressive, actually. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. All right, have a good day. And yeah, let's take a peek. Obviously, we're going to hang out with Antonio. That's what they're looking like. we're gonna turn our day around. Have a good day. Day in the life. I've been a little bit tempted to, right now I'm tempted to grab one of these mofos and just chow on it, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna try to frequent McDonald's more often, because I save about $5 and I can buy, at certain locations, I can buy 7 patties. Oh shit, it's like dripping on me. Yeah, it would have been nice if they gave me some napkins. It's like, oh, you don't like buns? You must not like napkins? That's strange. And I lick the cheese off. If you are carnivore, do you lick the cheese off? That's the damn. There's so much cheese lost in the wax paper. Good. Cheese goodness. Oh, that's greasy. That's good. We like the grease. I've been getting by with a lot less calories and actually feeling good. Off less calories, but I notice I'm dropping weight too quick. Keeping weight up is a goal. And even putting muscle mass on, huge goal for me. I think my rental just renewed. So exactly where I thought I was going to be, even less, is I was charged an upcharge of $125 for the superchargers. So it's exactly $500 to charge for the whole month. Now I was paying between $900 and $1,100 charging the long range. I don't know what they got going, but that's a significant difference between the short range and the long range, or the base model and the long range. You really can't use all that power with the long range, in reference to the long range. I'm gonna try to take, a good day off every week and just really spend it with my son. I can't frazzle myself or wear myself down, but I'm gonna get back to oh, that was actually, so it's $17 for 3 of those.
The test believe. This is what leads me to believe that this and other case studies where it's like, okay, if these are ET, why are they acting like spirits? Why are people contacting them during seances?
Yeah.
Why is that? I know, right.
They want to think they're godly.
Where we go, brother?
Cooperate and do anything they want.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We think they're
That's exactly right. That's what I've been trying to tell people.
God is within you, man.
To me, I know it's obvious to you guys too.
God is
To
within
me, it should
you.
be obvious. To researchers, it's like, okay, why is it that Albert Bender's building altars in his attic to contact aliens? It makes no sense.
He's an
Who's
author.
Albert Bender?
He was one of the very first contactees
Okay.
in ufology. Yeah. So he's building altars to talk to extraterrestrials. Why was George Hunt Williamson, we'll get past it now, guys, so forgetting, but why was George Hunt Williamson using a Ouija board to contact aliens? It's nonsense.
Yeah, Aleister Crowley. I saw this on
Correct.
Reddit recently. Where he drew a picture of a spirit that he was contacting, and it was a grey alien.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just that, and I go on this as a way because I'm passionate on that. But in the 90s, early 90s, the
That's
soul
not bad.
experiment
$17 for food
were
all
a
day.
group of practitioners, psychics, and then you had parapsychologists who met, all had Ouija boards. They sat down because they were trying to contact relatives that were on the other side. In the middle of these seances, the proto-intelligence were actually dealing with the one that's hiding behind the masks. That manifested. And that was the alien grain.
Yeah.
So, to me, as a researcher, I would be like, okay, at what point do we start questioning their intentions?
And you notice how they started calling Greys aliens
It's obvious to me.
early on? And identified those as the aliens, and we look around and we see the Greys and we identify that as aliens.
Of course.
Hey, all right, and
There should be no hesitancy.
That's indoctrination.
no, yeah.
I agree, brother.
In the case of their selection, okay, does original sin have anything to do with it? Does sin, a generational sin in the family, have anything to do with their
The
selection?
sin lowers us because
there
we're
are
principle-oriented beings.
Occult connections. I had an experience that reached out to
So
me.
we naturally
said
have
she was
that within
taken
us, but
in a
we
gas
also
station parking lot.
were engineered.
And then when she
The
went back
heightened
in,
state
like through history,
of
she went to the
ethics,
city hall and
internal ethics,
realized that
or
that
principles.
building was built
And we know
on
when we're reaching.
grounds for which satanic ritual magic was performed. So there is a connection there. But there are also case studies
In other
of
words,
people who
morality,
did done
something they
nothing,
did to us.
absolutely nothing,
They actually put
have
it
no
in us.
knowledge of any of this. And then they're taken and these things occur. But in terms of their victimologies and integrity, we would call them generational spirits.
And animals are a perfect example.
Where
They
and
have
now
a
here's
completely
why,
different
because if they
naturalistic
took a mother,
idea of
they would focus
morality.
it on the daughter or the next generation.
They're using
Well, we
them.
know that to be true. You
Principles.
So that's just another overlapping thematic element between the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you just explain to me as well, okay, what is a succubus? What is that?
Well, in times past, demonologists hypothesized that it was an intelligence that would appear to a man as a woman. Like I said, usually a lover, an ex-wife, the current wife if she's out of the room. And then the whole purpose would be to seduce them to harvest secretions and excretions from that individual. Then that same intelligence would go to a woman in the image of a man and inseminate her with the seed it took.
Incubus, succubus.
And so in times past, like I said, demonologists hypothesized that these were two separate entities. I would suggest that this is not really a who, it's a how. This is a methodology the phenomenon employs. Now, the reason behind that was because, again, to self-replicate. It wasn't just to inseminate. There was no purpose, unless they were trying to create a social skin.
And that's got to be like
And I need to say this for everybody
At least
who's
1,500
listening.
calories.
Possession to us is pregnancy to them.
it's
Okay.
higher carbs
Say that
because of the
again.
cheese.
Possession to us
I
is
don't have cheese
pregnancy
cut off
to them.
these days.
It is not merely the relocation of consciousness, it's a replication of life. And that's why I suggested earlier that
Based
we're
on
looking at the
mimetic
hybridization program is not just the insemination of the fetus.
Based on
Something is commandeering that. And
Authentic
that's not
profile.
just witnessed in modernity, that's witnessed in biblical antiquity as well. So again, if these are new intelligences, why are they operating just like the old ones? It's the same thing. And what we're witnessing is it evolving according to our awareness of it, masquerading itself throughout centuries according to different religious traditions.
Go a lot
But
better.
essentially what we're looking at, it's primeval, right?
I was getting virtually
It's
no
something
calories.
that, again, evolving according to our awareness of it, and even more than that. The reason it's evolving is because it wants to evade. It doesn't want us to truly know
I was getting virtual
what it's
calories,
doing.
not real calories.
Okay.
But no, we're not revoked.
There we go, brother. There we go.
Right, you keep those people in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to sell T-shirts, right? And have these big conferences about how lovely they are. Couldn't do that.
Does McDonald, are you finding in your research as well, or in the historical record, whatever text you're looking at, are they eating us as well?
Well, I can tell you this: the very first succubus encounter reported by MUFON included beings that assaulted the experiencer and then drink blood out of chalices. So where did they get that blood?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe
yes, I
that-
do. I'm sorry. Good.
Ted's been saying for a while that they've been drinking our blood.
You want to sell on Target Marketplace, but